call me Mystic Matt because I predict these things.
Adrian Yanez takes on Cristian Quinonez this Saturday at UFC Fight Night. And Adrian Yanez, been in the UFC since 2020, was on a 5-fight winning streak, including a win over Davey Grant by split decision, which is impressive, before he ran into Rob Font and got finished in the first round, then lost via leg kicks to Jonathan Martinez, knocked out Vinicius Salvador, and recently coming in off of a split decision loss to Daniel Marcos back in December of last year in a fight that was really close. I can see the split decision. I think Daniel Marcos did a little bit more in the third round with his grappling to win that round. I think it was 1-1 going into that one, but I think the third round was a swing round. But either way, Adrian Yanez, in his prime, still 31 years old, 5'7", with a 70-inch reach, 17-6 in his career. Very high-level boxer. Grew up boxing under his dad's tutelage, who was a Golden Gloves boxer. Is also a jiu-jitsu black belt. Really good takedown defense. Is now being trained by Yves Edwards. Taking on Cristian Quinonez, who is also 29 in his prime, 5'8", with a 70-inch reach, so going to be 1 inch taller and going to have the same reach, 18-5, so decent record. Hasn't fought the best competition, though, on the regional scene. 1-2 in the UFC. And, not awful on the feet, light on the feet, balancing in and out, just kind of floating around. Great footwork, has a long, stiff jab, has a really good right uppercut. Primarily a boxer, but he will throw kicks, and has decent power. Not the best on the ground though, and recently lost to Kyung Ho Kang and Raoni Barcelos, which no shame in the Raoni Barcelos loss, but Kyung Ho Kang 19-8 at the time, now 19-11, hasn't seen the most success in the UFC, so not a great loss there. So I'm going to go with Adrian Yanez. Quinonez hasn't fought in 20 months, on a 2-fight losing streak, 1-2 in the UFC, fighting for his job. Can be hit, can be hurt. He was KO'd twice on the regional scene, was dropped and then choked out by Kyung Ho Kang. Was taking some right hands from Raoni Barcelos and was dropped in round 2 briefly. And I just feel like if Barcelos and Kang are hitting him, I just think Yanez will touch him up in the boxing. Quinonez doesn't really feint on his way into the pocket at all, just kind of marches in looking to land strikes and just kind of leans back away from punches at times. And I think that somebody like Adrian Yanez will be able to kind of come over the top, step in with extended punch combinations and catch him just with the follow-up shots. Yanez's boxing is very nasty. It's very high level. He has really crispy combinations, great counters, very fluid combos in the pocket, and KO power in both hands. He's got KO power in the right hand. He's got a really good check left hook. We saw that in his last fight against Daniel Marcos, hurting him there. And he's got 5 KOs in the UFC. He's got proven ability to put guys lights out, and I think that he'll be able to combine his striking and his boxing with the calf kick. Be chewing up the calf of Quinonez in this one, fighting behind the jab, just using his footwork to move into the pocket, throwing 3 or 4 punch combinations, and kind of just slipping and ripping against Quinonez. Quinonez can be subbed. He's been rear naked choked 3 times, was subbed by Raoni Barcelos pretty easily, and didn't really fight the rear naked choke versus Kyung Ho Kang in their fight. So I'd give the grappling edge to Yanez in this one. It's just the more credentialed grappler, the jiu-jitsu black belt, great defensive wrestling. He only has 2 subs in his career. He's more of a knockout artist, or wins by decision. But he does have 2 submissions that were earlier in his career in the regional scene. He's really tough to get to the ground, 81% takedown defense. The only time he's ever really been taken down at all was in his last fight against Daniel Marcos, where he was taken down twice, but was able to pop back up pretty quickly. So only been taken down twice in 9 UFC fights. I expect this fight to take place primarily on the feet, unless Quinonez shoots for takedowns, which I think he might do, just because I don't think that he's going to be getting the better of the striking. Yanez can be hurt as well. He can be KO'd. He was KO'd 1 time in his career by Rob Font, and then lost by leg kicks to Jonathan Martinez that 1 time. But other than that, he's pretty solid defensively. Doesn't move his head off the center line at times when he's circled into the pocket, which is concerning. But I trust him in this one defensively to get this one done over Cristian Quinonez. I think that he's the much better boxer. I think that he'll find the chin on Quinonez early and often and get him out of there by KO. I think Adrian Yanez is very talented. He's still in his prime right now. Ran into a 2-fight losing streak, but that's against Rob Font. You know, Rob Font's very high level. Jonathan Martinez with the leg kicks. He was on an absolute hot streak before he ran into Jose Aldo and Marcus McGee. So no shame in those losses to those guys. Bounced back with a knockout over Vinicius Salvador in the first round, and then went tit for tat with Daniel Marcos, who was undefeated at the time, who only has one loss right now against Montel Jackson. So I think Yanez is the much better, more well-rounded fighter. I think he's got less holes in his game. I think he's got the better chin. I think he's more durable. I think he's faster. I think he's got more fluid combinations, and I think he's got the better resume than Cristian Quinonez. Adrian Yanez, you know, fighting Daniel Marcos, Jonathan Martinez, Rob Font, Davey Grant, got a lot of high-level experience against these guys, and I think it's going to be he's going to be a rough welcome back to the UFC for Cristian Quinonez, who I don't think he's faced somebody as high quality as Adrian Yanez. Hany Barcelos is good, but I think that Adrian Yanez is light years ahead of Barcelos on the feet, and Barcelos was seeing some success there. So I'm going to go with Adrian Yanez. I think he gets this one done inside the distance by KO. Thanks.